Hey, how's it going, you deep fried Durants? Today we're playing some games with the top 8 fossils deck from the regionals in Germany just last weekend. I've been having a ton of fun with this deck. It's a really cool deck. Past fossil decks that I've tried before have not been quite as good just based on like consistency elements within the deck, but this one has felt very consistent as far as fossil decks go. You know, not always going to be the most consistent decks, but this one has felt great as far as consistency goes. The only thing I changed was I put a unit energy in over one of the basic energies because there is 2 Guzma and Hala in the deck. We usually Guzma and Hala for the super boost, but because we play 2, we might want to have access to another energy. I'm still not sure this change is correct because one of the cards that is in this deck and does make it have some explosive potential in it is the energy switches. And the way we can utilize those is we can attach our basic fighting energy anywhere turn 1 if we can. If we open double Jirachi, put it on the Jirachi that ends up on the bench. If we get the Marshadow, put it on the Marshadow, and then we can E-switch it off later. So as soon as the following turn, we could go, after we use our stadium, the Pokémon Research Lab, to get out the Cranidos on the following turn, we could go, if our opponent like knocks out the active Jirachi, send up the Cranidos, E-switch off the bench Jirachi, use Rosa, or just draw into an energy plus a Karate Belt, attach the energy, attach the Karate Belt, and then Wild Crash for a knockout on our opponent's Pokemon. So, loses the combo with the E-switch, but it's just one of the energy. We still play 8 basic fightings. I just felt like if we have 2 Guzma and Hala, they're really good in the deck, we'll probably use them throughout the game. Or if we prize the super boost, we still might want to be able to get an energy with the Guzma and Hala. So I put a unit in over one of the basics. Not convinced that's the way to go yet. It's the only change I've made to the top 8 list. And that's all I've got to say on the deck. I don't have the most experience with it. I played around with it a little bit and had a ton of fun with what I did play around with it. So I definitely wanted to share it with you guys. Let's go ahead. Let's play some games. One of the things that is a little bit unfortunate about this deck is, and it's happening, we do open up with the Marshadow a decent amount. We only play 5 basic Pokemon, 4 Jirachi and the 1 Marshadow. The reason that the Marshadow is even in the deck is so it gives us an out to dealing with our opponent's chaotic swells. Chaotic swells really annoying for this deck to deal with. I'm gonna go ahead. I did get the energy switch, so I think I am gonna go ahead and attach here. And then we're just going to go stadium, find ourselves the Tirtouga. And I could get the Aerodactyl here, or I could just go for the Cranidos. We do have a Rampardos in hand, but I almost kind of want to grab the Aerodactyl for the early game here. Our start's a little bit slow with our current hand. The Aerodactyl would be kind of cool to slow down our opponent, but I think I could use it. I want to be able to use it that quick anyways. Let's just go with the Cranidos here. Tirtouga and Cranidos. The Carracosta that the Tirtouga evolves into shuts down our opponent's tool cards. Stop their escape boards. Stop their spell tags. Really strong against the Malamar deck specifically. And then we have the Rampardos, which is... We got the Wild Crash to one-shot stuff, but I feel like the Aerodactyl is probably going to be pretty good in this matchup for the GX attack, so we can just one-shot a... one-shot, what are we trying to one-shot? The Giratina. So we might use that because for 3 energy. If they have 3 energy on it, Aerodactyl gets the one-shot. I don't know. This matchup's going to be interesting. We also have the Cyrus, which we can't currently utilize because we don't have a Jirachi. We do need a water or a metal Pokemon in our active. We could send up the Carracosta, I guess. Let's get this evolve in here. I'm going to go ahead and... energy switch off the Marshadow to the Rampardos. I think I'll also attach to the... Oh, I could have actually attached to the Tirtouga. We're going to actually attach to the Tirtouga here. Yeah, and then we have Rosa. We're kind of just going to have to wait until our opponent takes a knockout, I think. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, he'll hit for a knockout on Giratina as well. The Carracosta will. We want to get him out. A little bit of a slow start, but we'll be fine. Get out the Cranidos and the Aerodactyl. Give ourselves some more options. And it would allow us to utilize the Cyrus as well at some point. Not immediately because, well, we can't play 2 supporters in one turn. Rosa would find us, the Carracosta, but we couldn't go Rosa and Cyrus in the same turn. So we could go with the Rosa to get the Carracosta, get a knockout initially. Yeah, we're basically just waiting for our opponent to draw a prize card, though. We can't really do anything until our opponent draws a prize card. I mean, if they wait long enough, we'll set up to the point where we don't care, and then we can take the first prize card. But until that happens, yeah, we're kind of just chilling. And it's going to be a pass from our opponent. All right, so more chilling. Evolve. Nothing else to work with. Stadium. take a look through. Decent amount of energy. We're gonna be able to get out the 3 evolutions, which means we can utilize the super boost energy this game for sure, which will be super nice. And fast. Just give it back over to our opponent. Can't really do anything still. Still chilling, still waiting for our opponent to take a knockout. Once they take a knockout, we'll finally do something. We'll be able to use Rosa, and then hopefully build up into something bigger for the following turn. A nice top deck would be nice. I don't know what that means, but that's exactly what I mean to say. A good top deck would be very nice, because currently, even if we do use Rosa, we don't have a lot of follow-up to work with. So something to like combo with the Rosa would be great. Right now we're a little bit short on like utility cards and such. There's Lily's Full Force from our opponent. I don't think I've ever seen that card be used. There's a Cynthia. All right, so we can work with this Cynthia, get ourselves 6 new cards. Rosa Energy. I mean, Energy is going to be good to put in place somewhere. Also got some Copycats. Our opponent's hand is getting pretty big. We might be able to pull something off with that. I kind of want to use this guy over the Carracosta early on, I think. I want the Carracosta to like live longer. Be able to utilize it later in the game. I mean, ideally, I want to use my super boost energy first, but we haven't found that yet. We'll do draw 4 cards. If you have 3 or more cards in your hand, shuffle cards in your hand until you have 2 cards. Okay, so you have to end up with 2 cards in your hand. So we know they're gonna have a very small hand next turn. So Rosa will be the play for sure on our turn. Unfortunately, Rosa does not get us the super boost energy, which I'm trying to utilize here before one of our stage 2 Pokemon does get knocked down. So we're gonna send up Aerodactyl. It does have the free retreat cost, and then we're gonna hope we draw into Guzma Hala or a super boost energy. We'll probably Rosa for the Carracosta. Don't want these spell tags to activate. Don't want them to have access to Escape Board. Trainer card will probably be the Karate Belt, and then we'll get a Fighting Energy, which we can start to load up on the Carracosta. Hoping we get the super boost for him sooner than later. Currently, it's looking like later, but hopefully it ends up being sooner. There's a switch, and they're using a lot of their switches too, which is good for us because that means they won't have those later once we shut off their escape boards. There's another spell tag, but those are going to be irrelevant once we get to the Carracosta dude online. And yeah, Shadow Impact, dealing with our Marshadow. Goodbye, Marshadow. Goodbye, Marshadow. We probably weren't going to utilize him much in this matchup anyways, so that's kind of fine. I don't really mind that we lose the Marshadow here. All right. I mean, also the primal winds could be pretty good, I guess. Yeah, there's the shuffle back in from the Lily's Full Force. Oh, that's not very good. All right, Rosa here. Gonna get ourselves Carracosta. Have to get energy, and I do need a Karate Belt. I could give up the Karate Belt just to attach here and attack with this one, I guess. And we could go grab Guzma Hala instead. Yeah, and then we could get access to the super boost energy, which I think would be a little bit more beneficial overall, because nothing's getting knocked out next turn, and they might have a very small hand anyways, so I think this is a little bit more beneficial to play it out this way. Here we go. Wild Crash. Knock out our opponent's basic Pokemon. They can't do anything about it. Oh, I guess we don't trigger spell tags anyways, but we still want to set this up to take away the option of escape boards and such. Then we'll go Guzma Hala next turn. We'll get an escape board for here, get the super boost, and get another stadium. It's not going to do very much. We can calm for a Jirachi finally to get that into the active once they start taking knockouts. And then we can have a Jirachi to work with to use Stellar Wish to get these oh so important cards, like finding the Cyrus, stuff like that. There's another spell tag. Gonna be useless though, because we do have Carracosta online ready to go. There's a Psychic Recharge to the Tina. They have triple Psychic Recharge. They do need to hard retreat the Jirachi though every turn, or have a switch card. And we see they're already down at least one switch. People play 2 to 3. We'll see how impactful that is, but they can just hard retreat the Jirachi every time as well. Oh, they have the Recycle Energy, so it's going to be no problem for them with the Recycle Energy every turn being able to hard retreat the Jirachi. They do lose out on the Stellar Wishes every turn though, which is nice. Alright, 132 our Rampardos, that's fine. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves that super boost like I was saying. Guzma and Hala away. A Copycat and a Communication, I guess. Copycat and Communication. Grab ourselves Escape Board. This for sure, and I guess a martial arts dojo, because if we're going to utilize any of it, we're going to utilize the dojo. And if I want to use a super boost, I got to use it now, but then this guy's going to get knocked out by distortion doors anyway, so that makes me not want to use the super boost as much as I initially thought now. I could like calm this back in. Calm this back in, get it back out. That wouldn't do anything either. Let them hit this for a turn. Just retreat this, calm it back in, get it back out. Okay. I don't know how good that actually is though. Let's go with the calm. Let's get rid of the Cranidos. Grab ourselves a Jirachi. Could go bench Jirachi. Escape Board. Yeah, I like this. I like this. I like where this is going. Hard retreat. Excuse me. Stellar Wish. Grab ourselves the Cynthia. Or, no, this thing's going to get knocked out. We'll have a draw. Let's grab the Karate Belt. Put that into our hand. And then get the last Cranidos out. And then we'll utilize him to use the triple boost. We'll still attack with this guy on the next turn to make sure he gets utilized. And then we'll go into... Yeah, we just don't want this guy to get distortion doored twice on the bench, which was what was currently being lined up. We don't want that to happen, so we want to eliminate that as a potential possibility for our opponent. So there's the Shadow Impact. That's fine. 4 attackers left to work with here. We can also use the Aerodactyl if we want to. We can run stuff around a little bit. So we're going to send up Aerodactyl. He's got the free retreat cost. Draw a switch. Never a bad thing to have. Gonna go ahead and play the Rosa. Get ourselves an energy. Get ourselves a Karate Belt and Cyrus. Ooh, we could get the Cyrus here actually instead. Energy, Cyrus, and we don't have a Cyrus plus Reset Stamp would be ideal, but we can't get both in the same hand currently. We could Copycat next turn instead, so we should get this, a Karate Belt, and we get a Pokemon. So I guess we're taking the Rampardos. Not that he'll do anything, but I guess I could have taken the Jirachi then. Oops. All right, so we're going to retreat ourselves into this Rampardos. We're going to Karate Belt this guy, Karate Belt. This guy, going to go ahead, attach here, and then use the Wild Crash once again, knock out our opponent's Giratina. Or eventually definitely want to try and find that combination of what's it called? I definitely could have gotten a Jirachi there actually instead, because I have switches in hand, so I can go Stellar Wish switch, or maybe Stellar Wish find the Escape Board and then go from there. So I definitely should have gotten a Jirachi over this. Like I said, I haven't played a ton of games with this deck. There's still a lot of learning to do with it, as far as like properly sequencing out into the Pokemon you want to be attacking with at the right times. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff to be done there as far as that goes. There's a Great Catcher from our opponent, but I'm not too scared of that happening here. That's like okay. Yeah, that's fine. They're gonna hit this. I get to use this guy again. I'll put the super boost down on this guy. Maybe even on this guy if I want to use the Carracosta instead, but it seems like it'll be fine on the Rampardos. If they want to bring him back up, that they have to have another Great Catcher. I don't know what else they would possibly play as attackers. They probably definitely play some other kinds of attackers in the deck, but this is looking okay to me. I might just go with the... No, I definitely want to hit with this one again, because I don't want this thing to get distortion doored twice. Once again, this thing getting distortion doored twice would be terrible. That'd be an awful situation to go into. Looks like they're not even hitting. All right, I'm confused at this point then. Retreat back to this guy, super boost here. Gonna put this in play, but we'll probably end up discarding it. And then a Copycat, get ourselves 6 new cards. They had a bigger hand before, so it would have been nice to draw a little bit more, a couple more cards, but that's fine. Wild Crash, once again, knockout. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, they couldn't attack because of the ability. They brought him up. The ability stopped them. All right, I think we're in a good spot to close out that one no matter what. Yeah, they misplayed there. They forgot about Aerodactyl's ability. I forgot about it as well. And we'll take a dub here in this first one because of that. Pretty amazing start here in this one. It's actually okay. I kind of take that back. I retract my previous statement of amazing. It's solid. Definitely solid. We could definitely use some more with it. So we're going to do this. We're going to throw out this. Like I said, the E-switch combo. then we're going to copycat. We're hopefully going to find another Jirachi to work with. So this Jirachi with this energy, yes, we can save him on the bench for the E-Switch for later. Get another Stellar Wish here. Guzma Hala seems to be the best thing here. The Karate Belt itself is also pretty good. We usually want to use 2 uses out of the factory or the stadium, it feels like. I think I will go for the Karate Belt itself, so I can attach Karate Belt, play Cynthia, find another stadium if we have to, and then go from there. And then, yeah, we'll just use the stadium here. No idea what we're playing against. We did prize 2 Cranidos. That's always a little bit annoying to deal with. I think we'll just grab double Cranidos. We could grab Aerodactyl. We don't really know what we're up against, though, so we don't know if we want Carracosta. I mean, if we plan to use the stadium twice anyways, we could potentially get out Carracosta turn. They have Jirachi, so I kind of want Carracosta, I guess, no matter what. That makes sense. Don't know if we want Aerodactyl, I guess, but if we do use the stadium again, we're probably just going to go ahead and grab Aerodactyl. But it does depend a little bit on what our opponent is playing, for sure. We don't just want to default to grabbing anything. Definitely want a reason to grab stuff. There's a mysterious treasure from our opponent. So it looks like we just hit another Malamar, guys. So back-to-back Malamars. All right, that's fine with me. Need to get out our other Rampardos. I guess Aerodactyl's pretty cool, actually, alongside Carracosta when we GX attack. And then we can... I mean, swinging for 120 doesn't really do anything, I guess. That's the problem with the Aerodactyl, is that its other attack is kind of bad against Malamar. Its first attack, the 120 damage for fighting Collis is not very good. But besides that, is pretty good. There we go. There's a heads. We got a tails. That's fine. We can go... Let's see, evolve, top deck, Cranidos, definitely not what we want. Attach the Karate Belt here. Use 1 Stellar Wish, just grab a switch, and then we're going to switch play Cynthia, and then use the stadium again. Yeah, pricing Cranidos kind of thing. So, all right, switch Cynthia, and we will retreat back to this one at the end of the turn. Switch Cynthia. There are the E-switches that I was talking about. Very good in this deck. Stellar Wish here. Grab ourselves the Rosa, seems best to me. Give ourselves the most options. Find ourselves some of those Pokemon that are oh so important to find and oh so hard to find, it feels like that sometimes. Retreat into this Jirachi, and then Research Lab. Gonna get these 2 guys. We want the Carracosta next turn. The Super Boost is in the deck, which means we definitely want to try and utilize that as soon as possible, but it can be hard to get all of our evolutions out and utilize it. We do have 1 in hand, so if we to top deck, like, oh man, I can't even think of a card that we could top deck that would actually make it work on the following turn, but we would try. We have 2 Cranidos prize, so we do want to get we have 1 unidentified fossil in the deck. We do want to try and get that into play. I mean, I guess we could go GX attack with Aerodactyl next turn, and then try and get out so we could get Energy, Carracosta, and then Guzma Hala, and then just go GX attack with Aerodactyl to take a knockout, and then from there, we can look to use Guzma Hala to find our Super Boost, and then utilize this Rampardos with the Super Boost for a couple turns, and then go into this Rampardos, and then the Carracosta at some points to close out the game. That sounds like a good game plan to me. I think that's what I'm going to go with here. Has our game plan up against this Malamar. Yeah, shutting off their Escape Board is going to be super sick. They're being a pretty aggressive... I guess they probably have a switch in hand, or maybe they just didn't have a draw supporter. They actually might whiff an attack this turn, it looks like. We'll see here, though. There's a Psychic Recharge to the Giratina, and yeah, okay, they did whiff. That means that gives us time to kind of build up our hand. We have 2 Rosa's super good in general, so I don't think I want to get rid of the Rosas. Gonna go Stellar Wish here. We did find a switch. I may as well. Ooh, what about the Faba? Getting rid of Escape Board doesn't do anything when we shut them down anyways. Yeah, may as well just grab the switch. I think I'm just gonna hold the hand and wait until they take a knockout, basically, and just build up more on this hand. Stellar Wish again. There's a communication. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting out the Carracosta right now, to eventually give us more turns to work with to just keep setting up. Let's just go get the boy, get him into play. Yeah, evolve there, and then we'll just retreat back to the Jirachi and pass. And we're kind of just letting our opponent take... I mean, our attacks are super costly besides this, but we don't have a fighting energy to work with that. I really do want to find the Super Boost, So giving myself time to do that by using Rosa to get ourselves a what's it called sounds pretty good. Carracosta, if it slows him down even further, maybe next turn we find a switch plus super boost plus the other Rampardos, and then we just go with it. That would like be fine. Definitely wouldn't complain if that happened. Probably won't happen. We'd have to get pretty lucky for that to happen, but if it does, I'm in. Let's do it. Go for it. But probably won't happen. Another thing we want to find is our Cyrus Prism Star for this matchup. Cyrus Prism Star, super powerful in this matchup. Yeah, so that's one thing we're going to be digging for as well, is the Cyrus Prism Star, which we should be able to hopefully find between Rosa and Stellar Wish over the next couple turns. We should be able to piece together a Cyrus Prism combo for this to pretty much lock our opponent out of the game if we don't just win anyway. So yeah, I'm planning on using the GX attack here unless we get Guzma and Hala off of this guy, because I don't want to use this guy yet because I don't want him to get knocked out before I can use my Super Boost energy. So there's a draw into a Marshadow. That'll do nothing. Stellar Wish into the Guzma and Hala. That's cool. So we can just use the Guzma Hala instead of using a Rosa, which is definitely preferred. So like this. We can grab ourselves... Oh, no, we can't use a Super Boost, though, because we don't have the third evolution. All right, well, I'm grabbing Unit Energy then. Oops, I messed up. Or, actually, we could go Super Boost, Karate Belt, and a Stadium. And then we can just Karate Belt to use this guy's GX attack. Put the Super Boost here, and then hope to find... the evolution on the next turn. All right. Well, I definitely messed up. I'm gonna go like this to try and move that out of the way, so that I can go this back into play on the other turn. I am gonna attach the super boost because it's super important to get it in play as soon as possible. There, and then we will retreat and just GX attack. All right. So I did mess up there. I kind of forgot that we also need we also need 3 stage 2s to make the card work. The card doesn't work as easily as I was hoping there. Evidently. We'll be fine, though. We're just going to play Cynthia next turn, get ourselves a Rampardos, evolve, retreat, knock out with Rampardos. That's fine. And then build up into the Cyrus combo for the future turns. We'll E-switch off this guy next turn as well onto this guy. Karate Belt might not have been as good here as I thought. Maybe it would have been a little bit better there. Shouldn't be a big deal either way. We should still be fine. Yeah, so definitely a mistake on my part. I completely forgot we needed. So I should have taken the Guzma Hala off Jirachi. Then I could have Rosa'd for the evolution, a basic energy for this guy for the turn, and a Cyrus. And then I would have had the Cyrus combo ready for the future turns as well. And then I eventually could have built up into, if we found our Reset Stamp, we could go Reset Stamp plus Cyrus, which would have been crazy strong against this Malamar deck. We can still get there. We're just going to be a little bit further away because I kind of messed up a little bit. But we'll still be fine, I think, overall. I'm not too worried about it. Should still be able to bring it back here, no problem. There's a fighting energy for the hard retreat, so we do know they play the Tina Chomp now. Baby Blacephalon turn is coming up soon. We have to be aware of that, but the only thing they'll be able to really knock out is a Jirachi, but I probably don't want to put down another Jirachi because of that, because they get distortion. Oh, and they forgot about our ability, and there's the Rampardo, so they're not even going to get the hit on our Aerodactyl. Once again, our opponent forgets about our ability. I forgot about it too. We're going to use this energy switch so I don't need to go ahead and find it again. Move over there, and then play Cynthia. I completely forgot about it too. I wasn't even thinking that it would do anything here, but it did, and our opponent whiffs an attack because of it. We don't have an attached yet. Going to go ahead and attach to the Carracosta, and then we will retreat and Wild Crash for the knockout. We'll get back-to-back free Wild Crashes here, which is going to be super sick with that super boost energy. And yeah, our opponent's in a pretty tough spot now. They whiffed the hit that turn. They wouldn't have gotten a knockout, but they would have gotten to at least hit it, which is still a big deal. Just being able to hit our Aerodactyl definitely makes a difference. So they whiffed that hit. However, they can use Giratina this turn into Baby Blacephalon the next turn. They can hit us and then KO this and the Jirachi to kind of catch back up in the prize race. So they're not out of it yet by any means. We still need to find our Cyrus Prism combo, so that way we can get slow our opponent down with the Cyrus Prism. That's what we need. We need to slow our opponent down with Cyrus Prism, ideally comboed with Reset Stamp, but that's going to be, I think, a lot to ask for sure. That's kind of a lot of stuff we would need to get together to make that work. Possible to pull it off. They still need the energy to hard retreat here. If they're using the Cynthia, they might whiff an energy here to hard retreat. Actually, they still have Viridian Forests left. They haven't used any of their Viridian Forests. I would actually like access to Viridian Forest. if they're willing to put it in play. I wouldn't mind having access to Viridian Forest myself. There we go. There's a Stellar Wish. It's a Fishing Rod, not a Viridian Forest, so they might actually whiff an attack here. They are down a switch. They're down 2 energy already. Yep, and they do whiff the attack. Another turn for us to just freely attach into play. I'm going to play this, thin out the deck of that basic energy, because I am looking for Cyrus Prism Star, like I said, and that Reset Stamp that's in there. Those are the 2 main cards I want at this point. I'm going to attach to the Carracosta, and then could play the Faba to just get rid of our own stadium, or just get rid of their Escape Board just to get out of the deck. Sounds fine to me. Sure, why not? I don't think I need Faba for anything else, so let's go for it. Wild Crash, another free knockout, and we'll get another one on this for sure. If they had hit us, the Baby Cephalon could have cleaned us up alongside the Jirachi, but they didn't get that off, so we're gonna get one more Wild Crash for sure, unless they like GG ended us, I guess, with what's his name, the big guy, what's he called, what's he do, Giratina Garchomp, that's it. If they use the GG end, there's the Baby Cephalon. Like I said, they do have access to that now. Spell tag, not going to do anything. I don't really mind that exists there. And actually, they're still not in a position where they can for sure attack. They need a Psychic for this, and they need to move their Jirachi. There's a Stellar Wish. They maybe should have sent up the Giratina. I don't know what their hand is, though, of course. There's a Lily. Doesn't seem like it's going to do a lot with their current, and we might just get another free Wild Crash in here. Let's see if they've got anything else to go with it. Or is it just going to be like Lily for 1 or 2? There's a Great Catcher. All right, they're going to be able to thin out the hand quite a bit with that. But then we start bringing up the Aerodactyl, which I don't care about. If they have Aerodactyl on the active, I mean, I guess they're attacking with Baby Cephalon this turn, so they can pick where their damage goes. But yeah, they can't currently move. They're asleep, so they need their last switch card and an energy for the Baby Cephalon, and they don't want it to be their fighting energy for sure. So they want, ooh, they play Snivysaur in here as well. There we go. They got the energy, but no, they whiffed the, what's it called? We had 2, I'm sure we had 2 small guys prized. There's no point in going in common for that. And then we're just gonna bring it up and Wild Crash. They whiffed the switch card. Carracosta doing so much work in this matchup, shutting down the escape boards from our opponent, causing him to whiff multiple attacks this time in this one. And yeah, there's no way we lose at this point. If we ever lost at this point, I would have had to have messed something up. Royally messed something up at this point, but I don't think I'm going to. I think we have this one pretty much just in the bag. Rampardos is too strong for the Malamars, it looks like. There's the second escape board. Doesn't matter. There's another spell tag. Doesn't matter. Carracosta is too good at shutting down our opponent's tool cards. And yeah, they're going to get a punch through for 130, but we have 2 attackers set up, ready to go. Doesn't matter if our Karate Belt's not active. Just going to go attach again here. I'm going to bench the Fossil at this point. I think that's fine. And then another Wild Crash for a knockout here on another Giratina. And we're going to go down to 1 prize card now. There he is. There's one of our Cranidos. Are 2 Cranidos our last 2 prize cards here? Or did I get one out earlier? There's actually one in the deck that I could combo for. I guess I can combo away Jirachi next turn. Actually, I don't need to. I have this evolution of the hand. I think our last 2 prize cards are literally 2 Cranidos, though. What does he even do? 80 plus 20 for each star in your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost, so he'll knock out the Baby Cephalon. This guy will also knock out Baby Cephalon. Everything's knocking out Baby Cephalon right here. Like I said, we're in a really good spot at this point. I don't think there's any way for our opponent to come back, especially now that that's their bench Pokemon. If they had something wacky in their deck, like they could have hit us with Tina Chomp with a GGN, maybe a Reset Stamp plus a Trevnor, but we know Giratina is filling up their bench, which means they have no bench space to work with. We didn't even need the Cyrus Prism / Reset Stamp combo. Apparently just sitting here, causing our opponent to whiff attacks between Carracosta's ability and the Aerodactyl's ability is more than enough. And it's just a matter of time before we win this one here, I think. 4th energy to Giratina, because why not? And there's the Fireworks Bomb. Going to be a little bit too late for our opponent. What are they going to take out? Knock out our active, set up some damage on the Jirachi. We're just going to send up our other Rampardos, hit him with another Wild Crash, and knock out another basic Pokemon. And it's going to be a fairly easy dub here over this second Malamar.